The 2nd, 2024. Can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Williams, Commissioner Jay Williams,
Here.
Commissioner Davidson,
Present.
Commissioner Miles,
Here.
Commissioner Ratliff,
Here.
Commissioner Willie,
Here.
Commissioner Barcheck,
Here.
and our council liaison Starnes, absent.
Okay, we have a quorum. If everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. All right, to start with, we have any citizens' communications?
No.
All right. Barbara, I want to go directly into this hearing for the, a rezone. We're going to skip around and get that so everybody doesn't have to sit here and go through all this.
That is the next item, sir.
I'm sorry.
That is the next item.
Okay, so I need to state that now? All right, so the public hearing is open. It is 1:30, July the 2nd, 2024. I got that one down. All right, so do I go, this is a little new to me, so,
You read the caption, conduct a public hearing.
okay. All right, we're going to conduct a hearing to receive comments from property owners within 200 feet of property located in the 1100 block of Bushdale Road, also known as property ID number 12896, and change of zoning clarifications from R1, which is residential single family, to R3, residential multiplex. And we're going to start with our list.
Yes, sir.
I just need everybody that's on the list, come up and state their name, where they live, and your opinion on this. Catherine Rodham, you're first up, please.
I'm Catherine Rodham. I am a property owner at 1300 Highland Avenue, and I am against the multiplex zone. I believe in my professional realtor opinion that that's going to decrease property values, and our neighborhood has always been single-family residence, and I would like for it to continue to stay that way. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second one is, the last name is David at 1201 Yoakley.
Dowd. I'm the handwriting
Dowd,
toddler, sorry.
I'm sorry. Hey, me and you got the same handwriting, so we're good.
Name's Josh Dowd. I live on 1201 Yoakley, and basically, like what Ms. Rodham said here, I'm against it. We have zero history of any change of zoning in our neighborhood. I want it to stay that way. And one of the big things that we talked about is one of the things we loved about our house was the backyard. And if apartment complex shows up in our backyard with that big eyesore and gives us a lack of privacy and everything else. So that's what I got.
All right, thank you. Larry Pipkin.
Larry Pipkin, 1305 Yoakley. I'm against it because of the reasons they've given, but also you got a junior high school. It's going to be more traffic. You have one road in and out, and it's just going to cause more traffic jams. If you've ever been trying to get through there in the morning or afternoon, it's a mess.
All right, thank you. We got Chris Benham. Did I say that right? At 1402 Kelly? Garrett. Oh, I'm sorry. There you are over there. I went to Rockdale, so don't hold that against me.
So I'm speaking on two behalves. I actually live at 1402 O'Kelly, which is right there on the road in which it dead ends. I'm also the buyer of the land, so we were the ones that put in the rezoning. I think that everybody thinks the worst is coming in as far as 600 square foot units, low income housing. That was not the intention. The intention to put in luxury style apartments. $15, $16, $17, $1,800 a month apartments, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, luxury style apartments. Modern looking, not an eyesore. I own apartment units in Rockdale. I own a lot of rental units throughout Central Texas, and I don't own any trash. My parents used to live in y'all's house on 1201 Yoakley. I would never bring anything that would be considered trashy or devalue property. I live 200 feet away from there. So my kids play in the same community as y'all's kids. So never would I want to bring anything that I think is going to be dangerous or devalue anyone's property. Never the intention. I've looked at that property since I was a little kid. And when it became available, I've always envisioned something that mixes kind of the grown-up urban and rural together. I know the deer like to come through that property. They walk right through my front yard. So in order to kind of keep a little bit of best of both worlds, that was the vision. I know that everybody's against it, and I feel like I'm swimming an upstream battle, but that's the thought. And again, it's one of the things. If that was my vision, that was my plan, but I know that everybody's probably looking at me saying, "You son of a," you know. So that's kind of my stance on everything. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Now, Margie or Terry, Rutherford, y'all, either one can speak or both can.
Well, I didn't know when I signed that I was gonna have to speak, so.
Did you turn in a letter or not?
No, I just signed that because
Okay,
it said
so
sign in.
then we need to hear your opinion.
Okay, I'm with all of the property owners. I'm from 1400 Yoakley. And I agree with everything that's been said about the number of cars back there, the number of houses. And if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, does that go kind of in the backyards of the people that are along it, right?
It backs up to it.
Yeah, and that seems very odd to me. It doesn't seem like that's where an housing should be. That's how I feel about it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And then Chris Wolfel from 1600 Sager.
Yes,
Did I
sir.
say that? Did I say the last name?
Well, it's wolf, like the
Wolf.
animal. Yes,
Gotcha.
sir. Yeah, I'm against it as well. We are a block and a half away from there. We bought our home about 3 years ago for the specific reason that it's a single-family residential neighborhood. Very good family-oriented location. Our daughter, who bought a house just along, their backyard will be up against her. There's actually 5 houses along that strip that'll be backed up to the apartment complex just on Yoakley alone. And then I know there's another along Kelly where the main line will go into. I'm sure you can do a lot with the R3 zoning. You can do a lot of luxury stuff, but it opens up the possibility to change that. You can have up to 60 units. I think is based on the zoning alone, and I think it's 600 is the minimum size for each unit. No matter what you do, it's going to change the property values in the area. I'm a commercial real estate appraiser. It's what I do for a living. And I've seen this throughout the state and throughout the country. I work all over the place. And when zoning changes happen, it does affect values. It will affect probably this one value for this one property. It'll probably make that one go up, but it's not going to help the others around it. And we're against it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. I've got these last two that I cannot read there. I'm sorry. It's 307 Green Street. No, not Green Street. Who were the last two to sign up? I'm sorry. Yes.
I don't even see our area on the agenda, so are we in the right meeting?
Which one are you here for?
Peach.
Peach. What do,
S16600 Perry, Block 8, Lot 2 and 4.
Barbara? Which one is that? This is that the letter that was sent to you?
I don't think it's on the agenda.
This one's not, that's not even on the agenda.
Was that notified?
Because that's Green Street. Yep.
Okay. It
And
was
Mr.
notified.
Powell?
They pulled that
Correct.
request.
They pulled the request.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, y'all are, you can stay, you can if you wanna,
Weekly.
it's up to you, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, Barbara, that's all that's signed up to speak. What about the list of the list that we had for letters that were sent in?
If anybody else didn't sign in and wishes to speak, you may
Yep.
want to open the floor to them.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Julia Dowd. I'm married to Joshua Dowd here, who spoke earlier. Something else I wanted to mention besides, if you have, even if it's a luxury apartment, which to me in this area, thinking of a demographic that would be able to afford luxury apartments in this area is very slim. We know that we have low-income schools, and that we want to give everybody the chance to do and be what they need to be and live where they want to live. But thinking that we're going to have people that are going to be able to afford luxury income level apartments in Rockdale is not substantial, in my personal opinion, from what I see from working in the school district. My second thing that I wanted to also mention that somebody mentioned earlier was that it is right across from the junior high. I am an educator in this school district. I have a child that will be attending that junior high within the next couple years, and it's just something that doesn't seem to me as being a safe investment for this community because of the traffic. There already is a really rough traffic area there. And then thinking about those kids that are walking home in that neighborhood with the in and out traffic and, more people in that area. And then, of course, we talked about it being not an eyesore. Perhaps it would be a very beautiful building. Maybe it would be. That would be great. However, it's still in our backyard. Right, I'm still sitting on my lawn chair with my children playing, and I'm still looking at a 2-3 story level apartment building. And whether the building is beautiful or not, it is not something that we would like to see in this neighborhood. And like my dad also said, it opens up the possibility to rezone other properties in this neighborhood that are not already that are open to have this kind of building put on them. So again, we are against for those reasons as well.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, with that being said, we're gonna move on to, we're gonna close the public hearing. As now, it'll be open for discussion with us. So let me get down to, okay. We need to consider and take necessary actions on the recommendation to the city council regarding rezoning request submitted by CGCB Properties for property located in the 1100 block of Bushdale Road, also known as property ID 12896, to change the zoning classification from R1, which is single family, to R3, which is multiplex.
Well, we still need to know the list.
Yes.
The letters.
The letters,
For,
that is
against, I mean,
correct. How many, where is our list as far as,
Yeah, so it appears that we've got 7, possibly 8, that are opposed. It's gonna be less than 10% of the land area.
so is that including this?
Yes, that is including that. Yeah,
And do we have some that didn't respond at all?
we had the majority that did not respond at all. So there were about,
Can you name them off, please? Because I had several call me personally that, I mean, if they're not on that list, I mean,
we've got, yes, sir. We have 34 people who were notified. Of the 34 people, we had the subject property that is 8.48% is in favor. We've had 1200 Yoakley, which are the Middletons. It's a trust, is opposed. We have 1202 Yoakley, Fisher is opposed. We have 1201 Yoakley is opposed. We have 1305 Yoakley is opposed. We have 1400 O'Kelly is opposed. And we have, and Catherine, I did not see your name on the within 200 feet. Did you get a notification?
We got a letter.
Okay. All right, so all right, I'm not seeing you. Okay, here we go. No, that's O'Kelly. All right, so I'm not showing them on the list, but
It's
I've
the
got,
property that we own on 1300 Highland. It's
Okay, so 1,300. Okay, we've got that as Bourbon Bass.
Yes.
Okay, so that's opposed, okay. All right. So we've got that is opposed, and then I've also got 1057 Bushdale is opposed.
Okay, the Leopolds were supposed to have, they asked what they needed to do. They live on Highland, and they were supposed to have dropped a letter off. But it might have been during lunch, because they called me earlier today.
Anything that we have, Ben? Okay.
Barbara, how do we deal with that when we've been told they've,
Well, they have time before the goes to the council for them to make a decision to give us a written, I mean, they can even call us and tell us, as long as we have something that's official that we know who it is and we can put it on the list. The way that the state law works is if 20% of the surrounding landowners, that means of land area, say no, it takes a supermajority of the city council to approve it.
okay, now how does that affect, Rockdale ISD is included in this?
They are included, and they are actually 59.84% of the overall land area, but that's not 80%. So we need 20% opposition.
Okay, but how does the ISD respond
They
to
would be the
us?
superintendent.
Okay,
And they have not, correct?
They have not.
okay.
They have not.
All right, we're open for discussion.
You got one over here,
No, I mean, we can't take anything else.
Okay.
It's, the public hearing part of it's closed. It's just us, the discussion here with, as the board.
So what percentage do we have?
The 10%?
It's about, actually, it's less than 10%. It's about 8%.
Okay.
Okay, Barbara, what kind of box are we opening up if this was approved? Where we are, to me, this is spot zoning.
Spot zoning would actually be taking a small piece of property and treating it differently than all of its neighbors, where this is taking a substantial amount of property and treating it differently. But what you could look at specifically is for those that are saying it's within their backyard or touching their backyard, that will really alter what their expectations are. Because rather than having a 15-foot open space and then a single or two-story house, they will now have 15-foot open space and a 3-story building. And so it does change that substantially. The way that you can deal with that is you can ask them to come back in with a planned development district and restrict anything that would be on the property boundary adjacent to single family to single or two-story. I mean, there's a number of ways that you could work with this, or you could determine that it's not suitable for multifamily. So zoning is discretionary. You can put your own thoughts and feelings to this for what you think is appropriate for the area. And you're hearing from the residents what they think, and you've heard from the owner what he intends to do. So this is your opportunity to weigh that and come up with a decision that you think is appropriate for the community.
And the percentage is determined by the size of your property,
And
right?
yes, relative to the 200-foot boundary. Yes, ma'am.
Which, like you said, the school is 60% of it. I mean,
Yes.
So will a school normally participate in this? Will a school normally make their wishes known?
If they, what I've seen in prior communities is if they thought that it was going to be damaging to their enrollment, damaging to something that they're trying to protect, then yes, they do respond.
I mean, I know we could get a response from them. That's not a problem.
So, can we ask Mr. Guerin questions? Just so that we kind of
Yes,
get a little
ma'am.
more familiar with what's kind of going on?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you owned this
We're
property?
gonna need you to,
Yeah, you need to come
to the
Chris, we're gonna need you to come to the podium, please.
Did you buy it all at once, or how did you?
We are still under contract. We haven't even closed on the property.
Is,
You're
and
not
is
the
it,
current owner.
We are not the current owner. We are rezoning. If we need to extend the contract while this is going on, we will extend the contract. And if it's 20% and it takes a supermajority and it seems like everything is stacked against us, we'll just back out of the contract.
that was my next question then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're under contract, and it's the contract is for the entire piece? Is it one?
3.725 acres. Yes, it's 2 parcels. Be subdivided into 1 parcel.
It's 3.7?
3.725 acres.
Because we got two.
It includes the house, though.
No,
No?
no. It's just the 2 parcels. It's the big odd shaped, it looks almost like a Tetris piece, and then that little square piece to the top left.
Do you have 2.8 down, Barbara? 2.88?
That's what I have.
That's what I
We've
showed.
got-
In the contract, it says 3.725 acres.
I bet that's with the house.
is just for one parcel.
Yes, there's 2 parcels in there.
The second parcel is
said the-
21163 is the other parcel.
Right. 21163 and 12896.
Okay, so 21163 is part of this as well? Because
Yes.
that's not marked in ours.
Yes, both of those.
That's, yeah,
It's
that's,
also.
It's this one.
yeah, but it's not marked on this map.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay.
So
So
Barbara,
that makes a little more sense on the shape. I get it now. Okay.
For sure.
Barbara, just for my knowledge, is that customary that during or before closing, you get a rezoning?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, yes, absolutely, because people are not gonna wanna make the
Right.
investment into the property. So under their due diligence, they act on, and the owner gives them the authority to go in and secure their zoning approvals. And I think, are you saying the same thing I am with this? Is this what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what this is this is the 200-foot boundary around the property.
Right, but the little blue
Oh, okay.
was not marked. The
21163 is
two-
not included,
Yeah,
but
it's
it is.
It's not in the
So
blue.
he's saying
not-
it is.
It physically is. When you go to the county's website, you're only allowed to highlight one.
So that means that
Okay.
he will have access to Oak Kelly from that.
That's
area?
was my
Yes.
next, that was my
Yes.
next
Yeah.
question.
That means
because if that's
also
Yes.
included,
there's more people that you need to reach out to,
Yeah.
because that other lot, you're gonna get a couple of more houses.
It was included in the 200-foot
it just wasn't
boundary.
highlighted in our paperwork.
It can't be. If you look, there's no way.
So 20135 was
That's what you're
included?
saying. Okay.
Unless you don't have it highlighted.
No, like,
Like I'm
the
saying,
distance, the distance here,
Is 100 feet.
yeah.
yeah, that's
It
what
would
I'm
have
saying.
definitely
She don't have it
include
highlighted.
at least 1 or 2 more homes, well,
Yep.
2 more homes on the south side of Yoakley,
Yeah,
on the east end.
21163 is picked up, then we need to
And one more.
expand the notification.
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
That is
so my next question is, what are your plans? Do you know kind of what you're thinking? Is it what you're thinking that you're going to build?
Yeah, we were going to start on the Highland side and then work our way towards the Yoakley
Start
side.
on the Highland side.
Yes.
Okay.
So the homes that are closer to Highland, we're going to work our way, the entrance on Bushdale, the crash gate on O'Kelly, work our way the entrance down and then start building down this way towards Highland and then just finish out down Yoakley. Again, our thing is not to put a apartment in the backyard of somebody.
2-story, 3-story.
Two-story apartments. Leave that buffer because there's a bunch of trees and stuff that we don't want to take down that fence line, and it's got plenty of growth that would be a natural barrier. But I know that everybody doesn't see it the way I see it. So,
Well,
but
I'm just curious as to what, and.
because you can't put them in this corner because you wouldn't have an entrance. You have to have an entrance. If the entrance is on Bushdale, they would be started further down from Bushdale.
So what, the dead end of O'Kelly,
You're in,
what's your intentions there?
You would have to cul-de-sac it, put a crash gate, and that crash gate would only be used in emergency situations. So the main entrance would be on Bushdale. I mean, if it's traffic and it becomes an absolute just nightmare right there, then you can just open that crash gate and have that as an entrance as well.
I'm sorry, I'm just not following the crash.
That is an option
here at the end of.
going down, Yoakley.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here
Oh,
it is.
Kelly, right here.
But it wouldn't be
Got
a
it,
normal
okay,
entrance.
thank you.
It would not be, I mean, you could also put just an electric gate that they would have to open and close every time they come in. You know, an entrance and an exit to it. So it is wide enough right there.
And we couldn't put stipulations on it if we were to rezone it, right?
You can if it's a planned development district. If it's a straight zoning change, you cannot.
And this is, at this point, is a straight zoning change.
That is correct.
I've talked to Chris about this, and one of the things that concerns me is, you know, so say we go ahead and rezone it because he's gonna build this nice complex, right? Or has plans to do it. But 6 months from now, something happens where Chris can't get the money, or just say something, and now you're selling it. Well, the next person could build this 600 home, or not, apartment complex, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is my concern, which I know that's probably most of your concerns. I mean, I get it. I used to live there.
Yeah, I know. You were my
I
neighbor.
mean, yeah, so I get it 100%, their concerns.
Yeah. And again, if I didn't live 2 houses down, but I mean, if I live 2 houses down,
Yeah.
whether I get the money or not, I'm just not going to sell it because I don't want that in my yard either.
Yeah.
So,
So your main, I go back to your main entrance being on Bushdale. Most people leave for work 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. There's got to be, I mean, I know even now on the highway with the intermediate school, it's rough out there. There's got to be some plan to address where these people are going to come in and out of to go to work, to go to school, and how they're going to all mix together there.
I know I asked you this before, but how many residents, what's the ultimate goal?
it was 40.
40?
10, yeah. 10 buildings, 40. That's 80 parking spots. So, and that was one of the things that we discussed when we were looking at rezoning it. You know, 80 more cars in there. And again, that's why you've got 2 entrances. You can utilize both of them. You can utilize one, and the other is just for emergency purposes only. Again, it's one of those things that we did talk about, and it has been discussed, and that would be our plan.
So you're saying that if you don't get this approval, then you're not going to go through with your contract?
No, we'll just pull out. We'll extend and then cancel, just get out of the contract. So, I mean, there's no reason for me to hold on to the land if I can't use it for what I
Well,
intend.
what's wrong with building a few houses? It might not be 40, but it might be 2, 3, 4, you know?
I mean,
Because there's no way,
I can't get, yeah, I can't. I mean, you just,
Yeah.
well, they would have to open up O'Kelly.
And
And make another road?
No, you'd
Get to
extend
the
O'Kelly.
houses? I mean, you only
And you
get
could
one
cul-de-sac
house
it.
then.
they're gonna do an entrance off of Bushdale and open O'Kelly. To me,
But,
they were gonna do a road through there anyways.
yeah,
Did you
possibly,
put
but
multiple houses?
the way the
Barbara?
lot is now, it is in the middle of the road. The current lots, there's not an easement for the road, right, you know, for
On
the
12,896. Yeah.
The city doesn't have an easement there. It dead ends into the property.
But he's talking
get
about
it, but-
building a street.
But if you're doing a subdivision plat, you're gonna do your own little thing, you know? You're gonna have your own street, and if it's the same street he's talking about, it just won't be 40 houses, it'd be regular, 40 apartments, it'd be regular houses, you know?
So you're saying like put a dog leg in it, in the road, basically?
If you do a subdivision,
Have
you
to.
can.
And you could,
Change the.
you could.
I think what she's saying is cul-de-sac it and then build it around that cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then you could do one house on the Bushdale Road.
How many
have-
houses could you put in if you did something like that? Guess,
We've never even,
Barbara.
I mean,
Never thought about just a regular house and a housing addition?
it's just, that's not what I do. I'm not a home developer.
Do you do apartments, though?
We do apartments. I understand
build apart-
apartments, yes.
Build apartments?
I know you told me you're currently working on doing something similar to this in Thorndale too, right?
Yes.
my comments, back and forth. We do need homes. We do need places for people to live. If they're gonna be 1,600, 1,800, people gonna be paying that for this cornerstone houses, and that's the way we're trying to go, to a higher income to get more better quality people in town. I don't know how much the depreciation does to the homes, as far as real estate and all that. I don't know if that's bad or big. I'm not familiar with that. I know it brings more money to the city as far as taxes or whatever. And I thought it would bring depreciation up, but I don't know. You saying it would bring it down. And I don't know if there's a way to, I know you can't go no more than 10 foot to cover someone's backyard to keep it from being a situation in their part. Coming from them, they live around there, I don't. So, I mean, they're the community, but I would think, I mean, if it was me, if I lived there, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
You would?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I mean, as long as it's some good quality apartments, 1,600 and up, I would be all right with that. But if it's some lower income where it's gonna be trashed out, and then that's a different story to me.
Yeah. 1,600 is well within people's budget. I would,
The only problem, far as rezoning, and okay, he got his and theirs nice, but then you got some around there that might try to put some
Well,
crappy.
you would just be rezoning that property, correct? That's
yeah,
all.
there's no other property
So
over
wouldn't
there.
do anything around it.
But y'all, we need to remember, this is spot zoning, the way we look at it. Whether it's commercial or residential, it is single family all the way around this property. And that we're opening up a big deal.
Precedent.
Well, that's
Residents.
like all apartments in town have houses around them. Like behind Sonic, got houses around them apartments. I mean, every apartments in town got houses around them.
I think my main concern or thoughts are, and I do agree, you know, if I was living there, had property there, but on the flip side, my main thoughts are, we can sit here and rezone all day long, but you said that you can't put, you know, certain things on. That's right.
Right.
And so
Right.
he can, and no offense, but if something did happen to you, it's already rezoned, and we can't say, nobody can say what's gonna happen. Oh, we can't have this out here, or this restriction's here, and that concerns me right there. I mean, I don't have a problem. I understand that.
And I agree with you.
And it is, we have apartments all around and houses all around, I get that. But I do believe that it's all about, I mean, there's restrictions everywhere now. Even outside of town, you sell a piece of property, that deed's gonna have restrictions on it by that seller, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. You know, and sometimes they're good, and there's a reason they're there, so that concerns me a little bit there, not being able to put those, you know, guidelines.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, any more discussion?
I would say I'm kind of the same thing. I think you do set a precedent. You do set a precedent when we do this.
And again, we're not just talking residential, we're talking across the board. All right,
Before this can really be considered, we have to expand the notification. We have to pick up the 200 feet from that additional property. So I would recommend that we continue this, let us do the notification. It can't come back in 2 weeks, because I don't think we've got the time to, is it 10 or 14 days, Ben, that we gotta get it out? 14. Yeah, so it's gonna have to be delayed a month, so that we can get the notification out to expand this. I've covered what needs to be, what's gonna
Well, how
have to
many
be
homes are we
expanded.
talking?
We're talking 1, 2,
Four.
3, 4, 5, 6.
6 homes,
I'm getting 6 more properties out of it.
okay.
And in the interim, if you want, we can speak about maybe a planned development district, where you could come in with what you're going to do that might make the neighbors more content if they saw what your development plan was, and the planning commission might be more content if they knew that that's what the development plan is, and that becomes the law of that land.
Okay.
Do you have any renderings or anything, you know?
I don't have any site plans. I mean, I'm not spending any money until I know
understand.
exactly that I can do this.
But I didn't know if it's the same design like you were incorporating and maybe.
Already done some.
Yeah, I mean, I've got drawings. I've got the drawings for what's gonna go in Thorndale. And so, site plans and, building drawings as well, so.
It sounds like we're not ready
No.
to make a decision.
Are we open to questions at all, or are we out of this now?
No.
It's your call.
I mean, with the situation like this, it being, I'm open for some questions, yes.
I just like,
And sir, please, if you will, everything is recorded on cameras and we have to have it.
it's really addressed to the plan specifically. We don't really know, height, setbacks from properties, which is a big deal in residential, if it's 10 foot, 15 foot. And I know he hasn't had any drawings or any engineers working on this, but I'm just kind of curious how far the setbacks are. I know there's some trees along Yoakley, but I would, my grandkids play in the backyard. I would like to know exactly before we had anything going on, how high it's gonna be, the sight lines from the apartments to people's houses and backyards and master bedrooms, things like that. And whether there's gonna be a low garden style with single story, it's a whole different ballgame. If it's a PD, that in a planned development is very specific, where if you can have 10 units that are a certain size, that changes the ballgame for probably a lot of people. But if it's a two-story thing, we have no way to go on, no understanding of what we're dealing with here. So I think that would be good if we can at least get more information on that.
Do we need a
I agree.
motion to delay the decision?
We had a
until
hand.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'll be short and sweet. I just think we might be at a point where we need to do a traffic study all the way down Yoakley to the stop sign, and then make a square right there. The traffic is really bulked up out there.
Definitely during school time.
Yeah.
Because I live on Skiles, so I know. Barbara, is that an option? This,
I asked them to do a TIA, a traffic impact analysis, yes.
right, okay. Mr.
On
Pipkin?
that and on Bushdale as well?
Well, it would be
All the
whatever
way.
they're impacting.
Okay.
My question is, with all the available land around Rockdale, why does he have to stick it in a residential area? And like you say, you're going to set a precedence, and I don't like that. I've lived there for quite a while. It's my home. It will devalue the values of the homes, but there's other places he can build. It doesn't have to be in a residential area that has to be rezoned.
Anybody else have any other comments? Okay, we need a motion to continue this on to you're saying we need a month, Barbara?
Yes, sir.
I'll
Okay.
make a motion to continue in a month.
All right, there's been a motion made. Do I have a second? Second. Got a second. All right, all in favor of continuing, raise your right hand. All in favor? Motion carries.
I think also we need to get the school to respond.
Yes, if they're having that much,
Yeah, because it's
Percentage.
60%, I mean,
we could have everybody show up. Barbara, you're telling me we have to give, the school's got 56% of it? 59% of it, 60% of it.
Right.
That's
You
gonna
still want-
change a little bit with those homes that we were adding to it, won't it?
It changed a little bit, but it still won't be 20%.
Right.
over 50.
I have a
so-
question, Ben. Who did the letter go to at the school? Do you know?
It went to P.O. Box 632.
Oh.
So that's
How long ago?
set up. The easy notices and
Nobody's attention, though, meant,
probably 20 days ago.
Nobody's.
I did it well before the timeline. I mean, we're
Okay.
14 days.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Barbara, the school's down, closed now from the 1st to the 15th, 12th.
2 weeks,
Yeah. So they might have not even got it.
And I know our superintendent is.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Right.
gone.
Okay. So the motion carries. We're gonna move it on over for a month from today. Is that correct?
It'll be your first meeting in August.
Okay,
we're moving it.
it'll be our first meeting. And everybody that is here today,
They will be re-notified.
re-notified, but do they have to show up to again to say no or yes or whatever they're, that we,
Not unless their opinion
this still
changes.
stands?
Only if they
Not
change their mind.
necessarily changes.
And thank you.
Does everybody understand that? We've got what y'all, if y'all are saying yes or no, we already have that. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come back, but you don't have to make sure
You're already on record.
your vote counts.
You're already on record.
And at that time, is Mr. Garrett, or the plans that maybe, are you gonna return with something more specific as what you're planning, or just depends on, because I know that's a month, and if you're under contract, but that could change a lot.
I'll go to the partnership and find out how we want to proceed.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody's welcome to stay, but we've got other things to get to. We're done with this, Barbara?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay. Now, let me back up. All right. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a presentation that, Chair Williams gave me from the last, meeting, from the city council meeting. That this was, let's see, let me make sure I'm looking at everything he gave me. All right, so, we conducted, the city council conducted a public hearing, receiving comments from the property that y'all worked on. It was a 200-foot property located at 712 Wilcox, Philip Vargas. The rezoning ag to residential single family, that passed. Y'all also conducted, the public hearing received from the 633 Ackerman Street for a rezone from R1 to C1 HUD for commercial light. That also passed. On ordinances, they considered and took action on the first reading of the ordinance amending Chapter 10 subdivision regulations to grant planning commission final authority over all plats not requiring variances. That passed for the first time. We are asking, is there going to be an action plan flow chart that Doug mentioned?
We're gonna go with just short form subdivisions.
Okay.
Just so that we know which ones stop here and which ones go on to council.
Okay. We also okayed and sent it on to council, consider and take necessary actions on first reading of the ordinance amending, rezoning certain parcels of land, property known as the 712 North Wilcox from zoning A1 to R1. It was passed. And then they considered and took necessary actions on the first reading of ordinances amending zoning on the Ackerman, and that passed as well. All right, and then what was the next one, Barbara? Was it the action items that he was considering take necessary action on recommendations from us, the planning and zoning board regarding the mid-century plan, and that was the Freeze and Nichols.
That's
correct. And that passed as well. Doug gave me a lot to do, y'all. I really thank him for this. They also took actions again on the 712 Wilcox with Philip Vargas for the property. It was okayed, and y'all did a lot when I wasn't here. So the property plat submitted by the Catholic Diocese of Austin, the property known as 226 San Gabriel, 234 San Gabriel, 405 East Cameron, 413 East Cameron, 417 East Cameron, 223 Rice, Rockdale, Milam County. All that was in Milam County, Lot 1A. That was approved and passed. And also the other property at 500 East Bell with the Catholic Church as well, it passed. And then the Dennis Dennis and Clara Brooks property located on South FM 908, known as property ID 21000 and property 22183, and property 16508, Milam County, lots 1 and 2. It was approved? Okay, all right, that's that. That is the review of the council meeting from what we went through over that. All right. We need to review presentation of the Rockdale Centennial events. Is that with?
Yes, me.
Okay.
So,
Please
first
proceed.
off, I want to make sure that everybody is aware that this month is the 150th birthday celebration for the city. And we will start on July 4th with a drone show, which will start the celebration, and then that drone show will finalize in a fireworks show. Because the theme of the group has been respect the past, embrace the future. And so those two things seem to be a really good way of doing that. There will be games, there will be food, there will be just vendors on the 4th of July before they do the drone show. That will kick off at 9:15. The fireworks should be kicking off about 9:30. It will be a great event. We've got 15 days of events, including what we've got over here on July the 6th. We're going to do a Splish Splash birthday bash, again back at Fair Park, where we're going to have water events. The Rockdale Fire Department is going to bring out 2 of their water cannons, and they're going to shoot at a bucket in the sky and move it back and forth. They call it water polo. We'll have antique cars out there. Is it antique or just car show? And again, there will be events. There will be water slides for the kids, and everything is free up to the gala, which is going to be on July 13th. And I have not seen any of y'all's names on any of those gala tickets yet. So need to make sure that we've got y'all going to the gala, because you got Mr. Orts, Kenny Orts is going to be the entertainment for that. But from the 4th, we've got a parade on the 6th, we've got ending at Fair Park. We've got stuff every day, either at the K Theater, at the 1895, at the library. We're going to have book signings. It is going to be a hell of a birthday party. So if you would, everybody please participate, and I would like to see everyone at the gala, yes. And that book was put together by the Sesquicentennial Committee who did the program, and if you've looked at that, it brought tears to my eyes. It was so good.
Pretty cool. A lot
It is
of good information.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
sure you can pick up a copy.
oh yeah.
Well, Rainbow Courts has a few that at the Reporter.
Good.
If you didn't get it in your newspaper,
Yes,
Rockdale Reporter.
yes. It is going to be a great time. So please come out and celebrate the birthday with your community.
Question, July 4th, what were them times and what was going on? And then you said respect, what was that little quote?
Okay.
Respect the past.
It's respect the past, embrace the future. And so July 4th, the drone show will kick off at 9:15. But before that, there are going to be food vendors. There will be games.
T-shirts.
Oh, we have T-shirts for sale. We'll have the gala tickets for sale there as well. And then there's the band that will be playing on July 4th, I believe, is called The Outsiders, if y'all know them. Mr. Fisher is doing the entertainment. So drone show 9:15, fireworks 9:30, and then the band will break out. On the 5th, we were going to unearth the time capsule, and our public works crew hydro-excavated it so that we could lift it out easily on the 5th, and the aluminum did not withstand 50 years of being in the ground. So they scooped everything out that they could, and they've got it over at one of the committee members who's actually doing putting it across the screen and trying to salvage anything that's available. But the aluminum with our acidic soil just did not make it. So our new time capsule is here. It is a professionally created time capsule. It is stainless, and they guarantee that it will last for 100 years. So whoever's left in 100 years needs to hold them accountable for that.
Today I'm working out, I'm about to
It'll
walk.
be 2074 is when the next one is open. And if you have any items that you want to put in, if you do it digitally, it's free. And otherwise, it's a nominal amount if you want to. We've had some people that came in and brought their wedding invitations and just really some sweet stuff that's going in.
Letters to their grandkids.
Yeah.
And that event on the 4th is where?
Fair Park.
Fair Park.
And it is free. And the events on the 6th, all the events other than the gala, they're all free.
Tickets are for sale there.
Tickets are for sale here. They're online. If you go to rockdale150.com, it will tell you all the latest events of what's going to happen. But I expect to see all of your shining faces with your significant others at the gala. And you can wear whatever you want. You can dress coming in from the garden. You can dress in period pieces. You can do your starched blue jeans and white button downs. Whatever you want to come in is fine. Just be ready to have a good time.
There's a parade on the 6th, so please come bring children. Star Spangled Sesquicentennial Parade
I wish I'd be in town.
downtown.
I wish I was gonna be in town, but we made plans long ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna be so much fun.
What time is it, 10 a.m. or?
Yes, sir.
Is that your report?
Yes, sir.
Barb? All right, thank you. All right, now we need to review and approve the minutes from the meeting on June the 4th.
I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I second.
We have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? None. That passes. All right, Ben, it's your turn. Give us the monthly code enforcement report.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
I want to thank Shanna and Barbara. They have spent hours on this celebration planning and have done a remarkable job. So thank you.
Thank y'all.
We should all thank them.
Thank y'all.
Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, so this is your June report. So currently, by our fiscal year, which starts in October, we've had 55 trash and debris cases, 189 high grass, and then 42 miscellaneous ones, which would include property maintenance violations, trees overhanging right-of-ways, things of that nature. So if you look at the list, it's broken down. 66% of our cases have been high grass, 19% trash, and then 50% has been others. And then if you break it down by our success in getting those cases closed out, 217 of those cases have been completed. 21 of them were voided due to either deceased ownership or unable to forward the mail to that ownership to hold somebody accountable. 4 are in the court, and then 44 are currently open.
Okay.
And then, as Doug has requested, I've kept since we've taken code enforcement back and done the proactive approach that you've asked for, we have 959 cases completed, 62 voided, 10 that are in court, and 46 that are open, which will give you an 89% compliance rate currently.
What kind of, did we do a percentage on repeat problems with the same address?
No, but I can tell you 9 out of 10 is a repeat offender. It's rare, especially taking the proactive approach. It's rare you're going to find new offenders.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same, we're having the same problem all the time, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And since you're there, you're going to give us the Development Service Department report.
I got one question. Since we talked about it earlier, that land that we just discussed here on Bushdale, is that completely just overgrown and it's all wooded?
Yeah, I used to live there. I used to have to shred it.
Yeah, for the most part. I wouldn't say completely, but yeah, it's pretty wooded.
I mean, is it supposed to, I mean, I'm assuming it's not supposed to be that way.
No.
Well, I'll tell you from a code enforcement perspective, we don't typically hit vacant lots unless someone complains about it. We won't hit that with proactive. The only time we will is if there is more of a fire hazard or a snake hazard that it's right next to a house.
Okay.
Then we'll do it. But if somebody will call and say, hey, this vacant land's high grass, we'll send them a notice. But we don't want to open up that box because then your high grass numbers would be way higher.
Now we'll do the Development Services Department report.
Okay, so this is the June report for the Development Services Department. We actually issued 16 building permits. I have 15 on here because at the time of the report, there was 15. We had someone come in extremely late when the packet already went out, so that number is now 16. We had 1 demolition permit pulled, 8 new electrical permits, 3 HVAC, and 11 plumbing. Now, the most important of those is how many new homes are we getting? We've gotten 5, with roughly 620,000 added value to the community.
Is that all Cornerstone? Or is
This
that-
time it was. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. Cornerstone and Home Program. Home Program pulled their permit, so we have 2 new homes going in. One is on Pine, 210 Pine, and the other's on 411 Scarborough. So you'll see the forms put up, and they've just started.
Okay.
Out of that, those permits, we had a couple meetings. We had 4 actually. We hold a development meeting every Wednesday to help new developers come into the city with city regulations, developing site plans, wherever they may need help to jump the hurdle to get their development started. So we had 4. In this one property was actually in our ETJ. It was close to the Cypress Trail Loop plat, if you remember doing that recently. And then the other 3 were on our east side of town.
Do we have anything going, what is it, just north of town on 908 that they're doing by the substation? Did we get any, did we have to do anything there? I know it's right outside the city limits, but it's like an internet. Do we know anything about that? Did they request anything from us?
Right past Cordova?
No, yeah, right past Charles and Gay's house. There, you know, you got the substation, and then there's something going in right there. It used to be the Keys land. They sold and something's going in there. But I didn't know that was within our area.
If it's a plat, we see it, but if it's development, we don't have any authority.
Okay. All right. Is that it, Ben?
That is it.
Oh, I got a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Where do we stand on, I know last meeting, you gave us a little bit of idea on cleanup downtown with the old Mac Boys building. Where do we stand on that for cleanup and safety and all that?
I don't know what's been done legally, officially, but that property has been deeded over to the Perry family because they owed the Perry family for the money that they put down on that property initially, and then also the damage to the adjacent Perry property. So Lynn has been cleaning it up, Lynn Perry, the mayor pro tem, and it should be done by July 3rd so that it is ready to go for our 4th of July celebrations.
Okay.
It's a lot of it's clean, I mean, a lot of it's cleaned up.
It is?
He was talking about all the treasures and whatever that they found in that building.
I mean, when you look at it, I'm not sure how you could get front to back through there. I mean, there was so much stuff.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
Did they find the marker, the historic marker?
They have not yet.
I think it got, when I drove by headed to the farm, it looked like it gotten broken.
The post had,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the marker may.
It should have been right there.
Yeah.
Sure someone snatched it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
I mean, that would never happen, but anyway, don't get me started.
We don't have this.
Okay. You done, Ben? Is that all I can get out of you
I'm ready
today?
for the next one when you
He's
are.
ready for the
Oh,
next
oh, you're ready for the next one. Let's see here. Let me just read on a little bit then. All right, so we've already taken care of action item D. All right, action item E is consider and take necessary actions on recommendation to the city council regarding a plat submitted by Philip Vargas for the property known as 302 South Wilcox, Rockdale, Texas, Milam County, Texas, into lots 1 and 2.
It's actually
Is it?
320 South Wilcox.
Oh, it's 320, excuse me, 320 South Wilcox. I knew you was here for a reason.
That's okay, I'm dyslexic too.
Oh, yeah, especially with numbers.
Yeah, me too.
So you got something for us?
Yes, I will handle the first half.
Okay.
Our development team is here. I will let them tell you about the exciting development that they have, but I'll handle the plat portion.
Sounds good.
So as far as what they're doing on your action item today is the platting process. If you see, there is some very light fine dashed gray lines that show you what currently exists on the lots. So
Yeah,
there's
which map are we looking at, Ben? This one?
you should be your first page of the packet. You see these dashed lines here
Okay,
that represent the lot lines currently. The bold is what they have proposed. They're going to divide the speed shop out of their development plan. So this will be one lot, this will be the other, and then this shows you what they're proposing with how they're gonna handle the floodplain within that property.
okay,
So as far as city standards go, it meets it perfectly.
okay.
Now, as far as if you're curious about the development, I will let them take the mic and handle that.
All right, where do we need to go with this, Barbara, next?
I would listen to the development
Okay.
plans, and then you can approve the plan.
Okay,
But the development is really gonna be neat.
Your flashlight, or
Oh, we've got a pointer.
actually we put up.
Oh, flash drive. I heard flashlight.
No.
Come on. I think we can handle that. Thank you.
There's a. First time.
I had to call Ben and get him to go over this. I couldn't read my maps. I couldn't read them. I've got my magnifying glass. Yeah, so thank you, Ben, for taking the time to do that.
and that's a lot of drainage that goes through there. Always has been.
But I couldn't read the numbers and the.
I was zooming it in on my
You can just
computer.
see the PDF. It doesn't look like you have PowerPoint. Yeah, those are all PowerPoint files. I think you'll have to open up the PDF file. Could we print it out real quick? Is that possible?
I think we,
Oh,
don't we have most
well, I
of
meant for another, on a different computer possibly. Can you actually plug that into another computer?
Let me try it on mine. I'll be right back. Give me a second. We may have, is it more maps and diagrams?
Yeah, it's just a presentation of what we plan to do. I can use my computer if you just want to plug the overhead projector in, if that, I don't know if that's allowed.
I'm not sure if we know how to do that.
Okay.
Do we have this that we can put up? Do we have that? Or we do have that up? Okay. Okay. She'll check it, but go ahead and start.
Okay.
Presentation.
It's easier with the presentation, so I'll kind of wing it a little bit. My name's Nick Carter. I own Rockdale Speed Shop. I've been here in Rockdale about 7 years. Officially, as far as a business, for about 3 years. About 7 years ago, I bought this entire piece of property here, just 2 blocks south, right over here by CP's Trucking, 2 blocks from the fairgrounds and stuff. Long story short, I have a successful business going as far as the speed shop. I've got a lot of land sitting next door, and I want to do something fun with it. And so kind of the idea is that I'm from Austin originally, live in Round Rock now, and what I'm wanting to open up is kind of a family-friendly, fun, kind of food truck, entertainment, kids event, drinks, patio type thing, large games, kind of a big outdoor kind of venue, so that people can come, bring their kids, playscapes, outdoor patios, professional pickleball courts, cornhole, those kind of things like that. I've got a beautiful piece of property, big trees, all shaded and stuff, and so what I'm trying to do is build a kind of a fancy, family-friendly place where, people feel safe. It's a place that you can have a glass of wine, let the kids play, hang out with your friends, play large games and different things, entertainment-wise, but also have local music, different food trucks, and then, different events and different things that the kids can enjoy as long as the parents and everything else. So that's kind of the real high level, but they're super popular in Austin area.
I have one by my house in Georgetown. Love cruising there, bring the dogs, hang out, have a cold beer, let the kids play. We plan to build a big playscape, like a professional, like no kidding playscape type thing. Adult swings, patios that you can rent out. Like I said, pickleball courts, cold drinks, and that kind of stuff. But basically an outdoor venue. Because what I've found is that there's not a lot to do. And so what we're trying to do is find something that, number one, I can utilize the property because it's just sitting there. The second thing is that I get a lot of people that kind of talk to me like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. Hey, I want to drop the kids off, pick the kids up from school. I've got an hour. Well, why don't I take them down to, it's called Big Papa's Patio. And so we're kind of building a brand around it. So where you feel safe, it's gated. You come in, let the kids play, have some fun, listen to some music, have a glass of wine with your friends, and make it a very social kind of outdoor kind of venue. So, but we want to kind of target people that are into the games, cornhole, horseshoes, pickleball, giant playscapes, cold drinks, private patios. So you imagine if you had a fire pit in your backyard with 6 Androck chairs that you could basically take there, hang out with your friends, have a bucket of beer, a glass of wine, hang out, make s'mores with the kids, all those kind of things. So that's really kind of the idea of what we're shooting for.
You had me at cold drinks.
They're super popular coming in with the kids, and they bring the dogs and pet friendly and stuff like that. So
Got one in Hutto too.
yeah,
Now.
South Park Meadows and different areas, South Congress, they're huge about people pulling in. And what we hope is that we get a lot of the kind of the local food trucks and vendors. We don't plan to get a food license or anything like that. What we want is people to come in, be able to bring their food trucks and stuff. People have access to different things. We plan to, I come from an art background, so, really what we'd like to do is kind of decorate it up. Nice, tree lights and different things, local artists and stuff where you can actually walk around the property and buy art specifically by local artists. So I don't know if you've ever been to places like that, like rentals, Airbnbs, where you can actually buy the art off the wall, where they actually put price tags on stuff like that. So that's kind of here we go. So yeah, it's kind of a concept art that I put together to kind of catch the vibe of it, but really kind of just this local communal type event center. I plan to leave it very natural, no fixed buildings or anything like that. What we plan to do as far as restrooms and stuff like those will be shipping containers, and so we'll fix those up. I don't know if you've ever seen some of the tiny home stuff, but you can do some really, really cool stuff with it. Part of the shipping container 2 stuff is that we can lock stuff up. As you know, at my hot rod shop next door, I get quite a few visitors that like to visit or test their climbing abilities and stuff. So we're going to do some of that so that we don't have a lot of permanent structures. They're literally cargo containers and stuff that we can open and close. So we'll have, like I said, a bar. We'll have a convenience store. So if kids need water, snacks, treats, buy a s'mores kit so we can actually build a fire for them. They can cook s'mores like that. We'll provide everything that they need for those kind of things. If you want to go to the next slide, you can go to the next slide. So this kind of gives you an idea of what kind of the amendments that we're looking for. I think the big thing is family fun is what I'm a dad too. So, and trying to find a safe place for people to have a good time, but you can actually let your kids kind of run wild. And we're going to completely, fence the entire place so there's no way of the kids getting out or without them going through one specific entrance and stuff. You can go ahead to the next one. Kind of high level stuff here. Live entertainment, playscapes, games, really trying to make it a place where, for example, one thing that I've noticed when I've been living here is that the Fair Park gets really awesome when it's happening. But when it's not, it's really dead. And so what I'm trying to do is kind of fill in those gaps in between. So if you do want to get together with a cornhole tournament or whatever, we'll provide a location for you to come in, use professional courts, and still be able to have your drinks and everything else, and be able to hang out with friends and stuff, even though it's not within, a city kind of funded or sponsored event. Want to hit the next one? Like I said, It's really about the patios, so that's kind of the idea about being able to pull up with a table with friends and stuff and have drinks and stuff. Fire, it's pet friendly. We're also going to have private patios, so if you want to rent out specific things for birthdays and different events and stuff, we'll have those kind of things. If you want to hit the next one, please. Really, it's a family-focused fund. The property itself has 200-year-old live oaks on it. It's an amazing piece of property. So we're going to clean out the underbrush and stuff like that and really try to make it like a park, a nice city park is really kind of the idea. What we do plan to do, though, is on the kind of the edges, as far as the back side of the property, we're going to leave that pretty much wild, so that it builds a kind of a natural kind of feel like you're in a park and you're not next to some of the city houses and stuff that are on the kind of the back side of the road and stuff like that. Go to the next one. Patios for all groups. These kind of talk about the different styles that we're going to have, but basically being able to pull up a chair, watch live music, but then also be able to have a private area. So if you and your girlfriend's significant other want to have a private little glass of wine and some cheese boards or whatever, you can do that independently of that. You want to hit the next one there? This is kind of an idea of just kind of what we're looking for. So we'll have areas for larger gatherings so that you can rent out, but also kind of your standard kind of picnic tables that are, free to have. And then some of the tucked up stuff that we'll build up inside the woods and stuff, so you'll have your private little areas and stuff like that. And this is just kind of high level where the location is.
I think it's almost walking distance from here.
It's very short.
So we could convene.
Going there, but not coming back.
We'll have some hammocks and stuff. So, but literally, it's next to the parking lot of Fair Park. It's 2 blocks from here, and we get a lot of traffic down 79. I think it'll be one of those kind of cool places where you want to stop and, even if you're a motorcycle rider and you're driving around, it could be a nice place to be able to whip in and hang out a little bit and stuff like that. I've grabbed the next one. This is just really high level. I own the property, it's paid off, I'm ready to do something with it, so that's part of the zoning piece, is separating it out from a current business. The second thing is, this is gonna be my second business in Rockdale, so, and then the next one, and yeah, so that's kind of a high level
How
picture.
soon are you wanting to get this rolling?
I've already started as far as clearing brush.
Okay.
So hence my poison ivy and the other stuff, so,
So you're funding, do you have investors, or are you funding it all yourself?
I'm privately
So
funding it.
you will be privately funded?
Yeah.
And it will be zoned as,
It's commercial.
Zoned commercial.
it's already commercial?
Yeah.
So you're just taking your business, your other business, kind of out of it?
Correct. That's exactly.
When you said, okay.
Yeah, so, long story short, I kind of did a lot of defense work and stuff like that, kind of, worked on cars my entire life and said, hey, I want to open up a hobby shop. I ended up in Rockdale. That turned into local business, and so I opened that up. And with that, then I said, okay, well, I'm invested here and like the town and people and everything else, but I got this other piece of property that I basically had to buy the entire piece of property when I bought the shop. So now what I want to do is kind of separate it out as a separate entity.
And the water flow through there?
It's a dry creek, basically, but it does flow.
Okay.
What shop was that you bought?
Rockdale Speed Shop. I do hot rod restorations, yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I've been to one of these in Austin, one in Durango, Colorado. I mean, just a neat place to be. I had one question.
Sure.
Before I came here, I looked it up on Google Maps. It shows there's a church, on maybe an old map. Is there,
I don't know why that church.
is there not a church there?
There's not a church
Okay,
there. Yeah.
okay. And that's the only question, because I know the rules on spacing for bars and church, but there's not a church there, correct?
That is
I didn't
correct.
see any. I even drove out there, and I didn't see.
There's not one.
Okay,
The only business on the plat is CP Trucking.
okay,
And so the property, when I originally bought it, that city block was made up of 6 plots.
okay,
I bought 5 of them.
okay.
And so he's currently on just the one on the corner.
But I'm not crazy. Did you see the church too? And
No, you're not
Okay.
crazy. I saw it too, and I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
something's wrong here.
very good.
So-
I think it's a great idea. Good. Best of luck.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, I don't think the one in Huddle has food trucks. They got the restaurants, but the one in Austin that I seen was nice. And they had a barber shop, a tiny barber shop. So that's how I seen that one. This is one of my friends down in Dallas. They had one that was super nice. Just seeing the kids out playing, the parents over here laying down. Just
Yeah.
Get good food and cold drinks and let the dog hang out with the dog and stuff like that. There's tons of them, like I said, and I've always enjoyed going to them and stuff. And I'm like, the topography of the land is really nice too, and the trees and everything else. And I'm like, man, this is right.
Just having another event area because you got the city park and then you got the park over here, but they get crowded quick.
And so what I would love to do is be able to get in conjunction with like the fairgrounds and stuff like that, so we can start coordinating different types of events and being able to support stuff. Like right now, we're supporting the car show and the parade, parts of the parade and stuff like that. So just trying to get more involved, but I really love that kind of area right by the park where it's just like, I see the skate park and I'm like, why is there not a bunch of kids here and stuff? And so trying to entice traffic, for lack of a better term, and I think a place that feels safe, number one, and this might sound bad, but exclusive versus inclusive, and try to get just a really good place for families and stuff that are safe and everything else. So
how does that work? Do you charge admittance by tickets or?
yeah, we'll charge to get in, so it'll be $5 or whatever, but that way it covers the cost of the business and stuff. And what we hope is that people come in there and buy food, buy drinks. But then at the same time, the kids are getting free access to, or not free, but, low-cost access to be able to play, climb trees, play with all the giant games and different things like that. And
Sounds
so,
like fun.
but
So does that mean you will be fencing the whole area?
I will be, absolutely.
So that,
Yeah, 2 reasons, well, there's actually 3 reasons. Anytime you start building something in Rockdale, I got to put a fence up, just number one, because we do have quite a bit of traffic down Wilcox, if you haven't noticed, as far as people walking back and forth and that stuff. So definitely security is one part of it. The biggest thing is if you let your kid run wild, we want to make sure that the kid can't run wild.
Only so far.
Only so far, right. It might take you a while to find them.
maybe
but,
out of eyesight, but.
But exactly. So we'll know exactly where they are. And then just, like I said, for admission and different things like that, and security, because what we definitely want to, in my previous comment, what we want to avoid is folks just being able to show up without us knowing. So we want to make sure that we know who's coming in, who's leaving, who is there. So we'll work on a wristband, type thing for the stuff.
And parking?
Parking is actually in the, if we
That's
can
what I
pull
was
that
gonna say.
plat.
Could you pull that up?
Other plat back up. It's on that other, if we pull up that previous image, not on the PowerPoint.
Is there any way to enlarge?
It's in your pack.
Yeah, we.
We have a
it's in
pointer.
there.
It's all, I have a hard time. I'm blind.
It too.
Yeah, so the fair park's back here, Wilcox City Hall where we're at, right here. My speed shop is currently on this corner here. And so basically this back corner here, that is adjacent to the fair parking, is where we'll actually build the parking lot in this area here.
And he's going to use the grass pavers that were recently approved, so we'll keep it in a very natural.
Can't wait to see that.
So you said Fair Park is over on that
the
side?
west.
Is that Fair Park, that parking area?
Yes,
Is that
big
what we're
empty
talking
field. The
That
big
empty field,
Yeah, the big empty field, and then the skate parks,
Is
right?
that owned by Fair Park or city now?
Fair Park.
Fair Park owns it, okay.
I think it's right by your shop where you turn onto that street, you go to gate 5.
Yes.
I think that's the last gate of
Correct,
the fairgrounds is
correct.
gate 5 there, and that's
Yeah,
where you
right
turn.
here, right
Okay.
here.
Right
So all-
there is gate 5,
Yeah,
yeah.
so all the barbecue, cook-off,
Yep.
camper stuff is right here. So we get a ton of traffic that's coming down this way, so what we hope is that we can get folks to be able to kind of pick and choose, different activities. So if you're not necessarily tied up in the barbecue stuff, you could actually bring the kids over and let them run wild and giant Jenga and Connect Four and all the other kind of fun stuff that we got planned, so.
Great idea.
And will you be hiring people that help
Absolutely.
you and?
I'm getting old, so.
I just meant.
No, but seriously, I employ 4 employees right now at the speed shop. It took me 3 years to find them, some talented folks, so we're definitely holding on to them. But as far as this, we absolutely will have people running the gates, concessions, table service, cleaning up, maintenance, security, the whole 9 yards. So that's kind of the idea.
Hey, y'all, we're running short on time. We got a few more things we need to get to, so we need, go ahead.
You said it's underway, but when do you foresee it finishing up? Just a guesstimation.
Perfect world, I want to get it open for the rodeo, for the fair. Realistically, I suspect spring break of next year.
Okay, cool.
So
That's good.
And I just want
the
to
summer heat is quite, is a little tough right now.
I just want to correct what I said. So it's the same as that, but they don't charge in them areas. But I get why you're charging, and fencing is very important right off the highway. So
Yeah, well, there's quite a bit of foot traffic over there at night
right.
and such.
I agree.
And what we don't want is ability for people to come over there and play on the playscapes and get hurt and different things at night and stuff.
Also probably a nice concert venue at some point, you know, where,
That's absolutely. So we're working on the development plan. So we actually have a development plan professionally being built. And so right in this area is where the stage will be. What is right here, if you ever drive by the property, there's probably a 200-year-old, probably 50, 60-foot live oak. That'll be kind of the center point. When you see my concept art, it's kind of going to be the centerpiece. We're going to have the food trucks kind of lined up in this area, and then on this whole back area here is where we'll put the pickleball courts, all the professional cornhole, horseshoes, and different things. And then restrooms and stuff will kind of be backed up fairly close to Pine so that we can get access to the city sewage, and then the bars and different things. But this kind of be an open field area with, you can imagine, just bring your blanket, listen to live music kind of thing, so.
so will you have the bar and own the liquor license to it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am working on that right now.
All right, y'all, that sounds very good.
Thank you.
All right,
I'd like to
All
make
right,
a
thank you.
motion that we recommend that the city council approve this plat. change.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. That passes.
All right, thank you all so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, next up, all right, we've, make sure I'm where I'm at. All right, we need to consider and take necessary actions on recommendations to the city council regarding a plat submitted by Angela White for property located in the 700 block of Texas Street, also known as property ID number 15190 and property ID number 20077, Rockdale, Milam County, Texas, into blocks 3, lot 1A, and block 7, lot 1A. Take it away, Ben.
Okay, so this is gonna be a new one for the commission, so I'll explain it and field questions after. So you really are gonna have two plats on one plat document. The first we'll break off as this piece here. What they're telling you is this was platted property in the past. I'm sure they'll show you the different blocks with alleys and unimproved right-of-way. What they're proposing is to vacate all of that and create one lot here, and the same down here. It's gonna have some designated blocks with an alley and unimproved right-of-ways that they're now proposing to be one lot.
So all that one block, that's what you're saying?
Right, so this one of them is block 3, I can't read it, so this one may be it, lot 1A, and then block 7, lot 1A, or vice versa, but they'll both be one lot. The only comment staff had is they've denoted some ownership here, and we weren't sure why they did that. And the reason we want clarification is because on a plat vacation, the local government code requires all ownership to sign on the plat. So we just want to make sure there's no ownership. We don't believe there is, but we just want the clarification for when this moves forward.
Questions?
What's the intention of the property?
The property is going to be platted and then sold to a developer who is, we're under confidentiality to speak on that, but that is the plan.
And is this entire property owned by Ms. White
We believe
at this
so.
time?
We believe so. It's just that denotation. I don't know if they couldn't fit it on the bottom of the plat, because you'll see on the south side of the plat, they give you the numbers in reference to ownership. I just don't know if Brad couldn't fill it out there, so he just denotated it to the side. He just needs to specify why. We just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we approve a plat.
I make a motion that we approve the request, or we forward it to city council for approval, making note that we figure out the ownership deal.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes.
And Mr. Chair, if it's okay, can we wait to do the local government code 211?
Yeah.
I've got a hard stop at 3 that I've got to make for the
That-
centennial planning, and.
All right, so we're good with everything then? All right. I will adjourn the meeting. It's 2:56, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.